Hello, I love you. It is April. It's been a while. I've been doing summer and digging deep into those shadow aspects. Oh, I did mess up my deck. Let's just move to another one. I don't have time for all that right now. We got one card flying out. That's a victory. Small victories. Take them when you can get them. Oh, gosh. Take them when you can get them. Okay, just something. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the cooperation. So we have the Six of Wands. Understanding what you need to do to victoriously expand your consciousness into the truth of the essence you wish to project. You are seeing the illusions reflected back at you. There are many in celebration over the star path that you have taken. You are being highlighted at this time as you wear your consciousness. The rose here is the consciousness for me. In a loving manner. This teal color being the frequency of the feminine. Remembering to come back to your kind, nurturing, caring, loving being. The Page of Materials. Allowing your work to reflect out so that we can elevate as a collective. I don't know why that was as a collective, but using your intuition to bring forth your wish fulfillment in a new frequency. So I want to talk about this frequency thing going on. Oh, my hair is a mess. I am a mess. I am a mom. This was school day 2 and we did not sleep well last night. Here we are again. So this is a mirror of your consciousness reflecting back at you with growth and stability, with balance, with excitement, with light. You're going to find that I'm using a little bit of different terminology. So nothing is going to be toxic anymore. We are all here to free our consciousness from a perpetual cycle of light and dark. To bring into balance the consciousness so that we can expand in a victorious manner. Our ancestors only did what they could do at the time in which they lived. And that, those toxic karmic traits that everybody's talking about, are part of our life lessons because they're in our DNA. So when we say they are toxic, they are the reason It's their toxicity. What you're not realizing is they are mirroring it to you. Because you have it inside you too. We are all one understanding of a consciousness. If we are all one, then what is outside of you is inside of you, and what is inside of you is outside of you. So I'm going to try my best to re-understand how to bring the union in without the use of the lingo that has been acquired. Yeah, new opportunity. Oh my God, that's beautiful. So when you get into the union of both sides of yourself, the masculine and the feminine, the good and the bad, whatever, the angelic and the evil, if you want to call it that, you come up to a new beginning in the real world and a new offer in love, because you've taken the time to come home. 4 of Wands, 11-11. This is 11-11-11. This is like, and then taking fast moving action past anything that was holding you bound, to be able to balance the light and the dark, the trickster, the fun, the happiness and the sadness, especially the sadness of the wounding of the broken heart, so you can mirror out intuition. There's a card coming back at us. To see a different perspective on how you're supposed to bring your dreams into reality as a strong, stable character in the real world. Through consciousness. See all those roses there? Through the marrying of the dark and the light. So coming into balance with the femininity and the darkness. The darkness that you've had to climb through to get to the femininity. The darkness that allowed you to blossom. The moon cycles that allowed you to dance in the flow of the blossoming of who you truly are, so you could receive the downloads and come into union with the masculine, the feminine and the masculine. The feminine and the masculine. I'll get it right. Parts of your own being. To come into that ancient knowledge, to receive the downloads of the sun and stand in your fierce power. This is just a side story. This is just a side note. This bottom of the deck stuff. And I know I took all 4 of those from the bottom of the deck, so I'm going to, as much as I like that as part of the story, I'm going to put it back in and we're going to go down. So we're talking about the consciousness. 3 out of 4 of these cards are about consciousness. We have a 6, a page, which would be an 11, a 6, and a 9. The page is allowing you to begin again. Once you've gone to the king. So you've already mastered being the king of materials. And then you go back to the page so that you can learn a different approach. Being in page energy is not something that you should frown upon. You should be very happy if you wind up in the page energy. That means you've successfully moved past the cycle. Another page of voices. So the page of voices is the king of voices. Once he has learned how to spot all of his triggers. once he has learned how to put on the glasses, to see through the veil, to allow himself to learn another thought process that needs to be overcome. Whoa. Okay, and then we can begin again in the real world. The Ace of Materials is showing up again. It's not part of the read. It's just showing up twice. So this Page of Voices, oh, that was on the bottom. We're not taking all the bottom energies today. We're just taking the cards that want to come out, but we're telling the story through the bottom of the deck. That's the truth. Allowing ourselves to activate our 10th chakra and receive the light within the back of our being. Allowing the growth of the mountain. There's 2 mountains there. There's Braille on the bottom too, but it's not Braille, but it's just a bunch of dots. Like, it would say something in Braille if it were raised. Oh, the dots are everywhere. The dots are the flag. So this is a pattern this is a process that has pinpointed a spot and then moved over a little bit and then pinpointed another spot and then moved over a bit. Each mountain pinpointed a whole bunch of different spots where you needed to initiate pure wisdom. Yeah. This is a double barrier. You're in a double barrier of protection. Sometimes when we protect ourselves so much, we don't allow anything in. So make sure that when you're doing your protection stuff, you're trying to do it in a nurturing way. See, she's in another protection thing, but this protection bubble is juicy. Do you see how it's a depiction of a fruit slice? I don't know a green fruit slice that looks like an orange, but that's a juicy depiction. Here's that protection again. You were protected when you went within to search your inner cave for your truth of your karmic cycles, the unveiling of the inner child, and the observation of how your shadow plays a part in distancing your inner child from your now. This person is clearly in distress, clearly gaunt. Like, is that what that means? Vacant. Clearly, excuse me. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry, that was really gross, but I don't swallow that shit anymore. It all comes out. If it wants to come out, if it's coming up, it wants to come out. I don't swallow any of that shit anymore. Okay. So by viewing her, you have widened the path. See? There is a trail inside there that needs to be looked at. To come out of that triangulation or it looks like it's a picture like that you hang on the wall. But observation of the past, we get 666 on the board. And it's not like evil. It's not an evil number. It's not an evil number. On the bottom, I just had you were the 8 of materials and the awakening card, that you were bound so that you could awaken. This is all part of the plan. Let's start looking at it like it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the truthful plan. So that we can begin again in the real world. That Ace of Materials coming out for the 3rd time in the same reading, where you are able to stand in your emotional pool balanced with all moon cycles and receive the golden frequency from delving into your emotions. And right behind that we have the 8 of Materials again. So look at the difference between these two. We are blind to the fact that we are holding ourselves back, or we are initiating entry into the emotional realm so that we may glow up, even though that's not beautiful terminology. Because when we glow up, we're like, oh, we say things like, oh, that person is low vibe. It's not true. They're on a different part of the path than you are. And you don't know what they've been through. You don't know what challenges they've had to move through. And you don't know the karmic imprint that their trauma has placed on their inner child. You don't know how many soul fragments they have separated into because they were walking on the path of their own choosing. We choose divine order, or we choose chaos. That's it. We choose the path back to ourselves in 2 different ways. And guess what? Each of those paths leads to the same place. Leads to us knowing who we truly are. This opportunity is bringing in the elements of nature. This opportunity is allowing our consciousness to be felt without our viewing it over and over again. It will blossom. The orchid is the... My nails are dirty. Couldn't get it out. My fingernail doesn't reach. The orchid represents the femininity, the same as the 3 of Cups that was on the split. One more card. Oh, of course I get to. There is a solitude that is blocking your ability to be victorious in your consciousness. It is time to come out of hiding, no matter how abandoned you feel. So now we have another 9 on the board also. We have a 6, an 11 as a page, a 6, a 9, a 1, a 6, a 1, and a 5, and a 9. this came out sideways. So we're almost understanding that we've been hiding. We've done the introspection needed to view the inner child. We've done it with strength because the goal is emotional maturity, and then finding a way to move that maturity forward in an offer of love to another person. It's not a bad story. It's not a bad story at all. We have the 10 of Cups on the top of the deck. And the Knight of Voices. This is my uniqueness card. And this is my finish line card. That you are bringing your uniqueness to the finish line so that you may emanate with the true happiness that was always meant for you. Seeing things in a different manner. And there's another 10. Here's that 10-10 that's been following me around for a whole bunch of time. I'm hoping that I've done enough to move past the cycle, observed it enough to move past the cycle so I can have my new beginnings. So I have ending the burdens, the wands, and coming into happiness, which is the cups. And then I have the swords and the pentacles, all four. We got two endings, which offer two new beginnings. It doesn't matter that they're not in the same suits. Strength on the bottom of the deck. So our majors are in, well, this came out first. 9 and 8, 8 and 9, whatever you want to view it as. I'm sorry you can't see the cards on the table. Whatever this is, it's coming into this feminine. The masculine energy has been too prominent. We got another card with the feminine energy right here. But there still is some coolness that needs to be dealt with. Coming into the real truth of the matter will allow you to be victorious. Not trying to candy coat or sugar coat. The truth of who you are. Because when you're being blind to the fact of the truth of who you are, why you wind up in these cycles. Is when you start to lengthen your journey. It all I guess the journey never ends. That's not the right wording. Lengthen the journey is not the right wording. You prolong the suffering. We're not here to suffer. We're here to be the best version of ourselves towards every person that we meet. And from experience, I was talking to my niece about a friend that she has that keeps trying to get a hold of her but brings out the worst in her. And as a human being, we all have these situations when we have to decide, does this person bring out the best in me or does this person bring out the worst in me? And my advice to her was to tell her honestly. Actually, that's not what I told him. I said I don't know how. Because I'm hiding from friends. Because I haven't found the friends that are high enough for me to stay in high vibe. And that's bullshit. I should be able to have friends and accept friends for who they are. But stand firm in the truth of who I am and not allow their behavior to interfere with my morals. I smell candle. I know I'm burning frankincense, but on top of the frankincense smell, I smell somebody burning a candle. I'm not hiding anymore. I want to have the strength to be able to come out of hiding. My path has not been easy, and I shouldn't have to hide from it. I am over being alone. No matter who believes that they can hold me there. Because a lot of the reason why I've been alone is because of this person from the past that is trying to hold me out of the love that is mine to have and hold. It's a catalyst for spiritual growth, is what it is. Yeah, it's to make me work on my consciousness. And these are yo-yos. So like you're supposed to go back and forth. Into a high vibe, into a low vibe, into a high vibe. We're in a bandwidth. Just like everything else, there's a bandwidth. And you're supposed to go in between that. It's an ebb and a flow. If you're always at high vibe, you are dissociating with a whole piece of yourself and creating disharmony within your own self. And these are only my opinions. These are only my understandings. And I hope that they can initiate new thoughts and ideas into the collective that will view them today. No, that will view them whenever. My name is April. Thank you for joining me for this full read. I love you if you're still here. I love you if you're gone. Shine on.